Welcome back, Level 1 NCEA physicists and Earth space scientists. Continuing on and finishing up with actually lunar eclipses and occultations for the moon part of this course. Okay, so this will be more around the astronomical event internal that you could be working on. So what is a lunar eclipse? We touched on this earlier in the course. Basically, it's when the Earth comes between the Sun and the Moon. So you get a shadow forming on the Moon like we see here with this blood red moon. And there's three types of lunar eclipses. So there's a total lunar eclipse. Basically, that's when you've got a complete shadow across the Moon. A partial lunar eclipse when only part of the Moon passes between the Earth's umbra, okay, or shadow. And the penumbral lunar eclipse, which happens when the Moon passes through the lighter part of the shadow of the Earth, which you kind of see here on this image. Okay, so we also have what an occultation is. Okay, you need to know that. So basically it happens when a celestial object is basically eclipsed by the Moon or another solar system body. Okay, so the most common ones are with stars, but you also have them with planets. Okay, you see that there from the occultation of Saturn. Okay, with its rings there, which can be seen with telescopes or binoculars as well. And a special type, which we've looked at earlier, is the solar eclipse, where the Moon passes in front of the Sun and therefore blocks its light. And why do they occur, or how do they occur? Because of the alignment between the Sun, Earth, and Moon, and other celestial objects like the planet Saturn, as we saw in the previous slide. Okay, and lunar eclipses happen when the Moon is a full moon and crosses the plane of the Earth's orbit, as we see in the image there. Okay, so occultations happen when the Moon or another body is near the plane and crosses the site between the Earth and another star or another planet. And when do they happen? Well, lunar eclipses and occultations happen at different times of the year, depending on where you are on Earth, and also where the planets and stars are in relation to each other and the Moon. Okay, so lunar eclipses happen about twice a year, but not always every year, and they're visible wherever it's nighttime on Earth. Okay, it makes sense, because otherwise you wouldn't be able to see the Moon. And occultations of stars by the Moon occur basically every night, so you could see it with a telescope. But they're only in a narrow region of the Earth where that actual alignment occurs. And the occultation of planets by the Moon are less frequent, but also noticeable. And they're in a larger region of the Earth when that part of the Earth passes by relatively near to the planet. Okay, so where can they be seen? So lunar eclipses and occultations can be basically anywhere on Earth, depending on the timing and the position on Earth. But lunar eclipses only happen at night, of course, but some regions might have better views depending on the phase that the Moon is in during the eclipse. Okay, and occultations with stars only occur in a narrow region, as we looked at in the last slide, where the Moon is covering the star, and that will change depending on the location on Earth. And those occultations that happen with planets seen on larger areas when the Moon passes near a planet, but also it changes depending on the Moon's position and the motion of that planet and the Moon in the sky.